So I have a charger here. We can just rest it right here.
I should turn off. What? Should I put it? I can't put it on airplane mode.
You could put it on silent.
Do not disturb.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where is it?
The moon.
This one?
Yeah. That way, when you get a text or a call, it won't buzz at all. It'll just go. If you get a call, it'll go straight to voicemail, and the text will just pop up as a visual thing, but not buzz.
Thanks, man.
No problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about ready to begin our program, and I'm going to ask you to please silence all electronic devices, cell phones, laptops. I know it's very tempting. I'm waiting for calls myself. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we are ready to receive the graduates for the class of 2019, and I'm going to ask you to please rise so that we may receive our graduates.
They said they want a song. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Boston International High School's graduation for its class of 2019. This is one of the most special evenings on the BINcA calendar, and we celebrate not only our graduates, but we also acknowledge the effort and the sacrifice that our family members have put into having this night become a reality for so many of our graduates. So, big round of applause to all of you. It's an evening with mixed emotions because, yes, we will miss you graduates. At the same time, a lot of us are happy to see you go. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. I mean, we're happy that you guys are going off to do bigger and better things. I haven't seen Ms. Russo smile so much since she got married, but we are definitely excited about the possibilities for your future. Tonight is also a very special night for one gentleman in particular who actually started with this class. So he began his job when you were in the 9th grade, so this is kind of his graduation as well. So I know it's a very special night for him. You've raided his office. Oftentimes you've even asked him for money to pay for lunches and things of that nature. We want you guys to come back because I don't think he buys the staff lunch. He usually just gives us t-shirts, and I can tell you that in my neighborhood in New York City, most people are walking around with BINcA t-shirts that I've given away. So, Mr. King, maybe next year we can mix it up a little bit. Anyway, without any further ado, I'd like to present our educational leader, Dr. Tony King.
What a great night. Let me first just say congratulations, class of 2019, one more time. Like Mr. Lopez, I want to acknowledge the families that are here and a couple of distinguished guests that we have, Mike O'Neill and Senator Sonia Cheneviez, who we're going to hear from in just a minute. But there's another group of people who are here, many of them up in the front, who've been a big part of your journey. And so I'm going to ask if BINcA staff and teachers could please stand and let our graduates applaud you one last time tonight. It takes a team effort to get here tonight. So as I look at the graduates tonight, I'm thinking, wow, your journeys began far away from here, and all of them intersected here at BINcA. We always have a very diverse set of graduates at Boston International, but tonight's is especially diverse. The students of the class of 2019 are from 21 different countries. So literally, your journey started all over the world. I'm going to take a moment to go through the list of countries because it's long, and I want your families to hear the country that they came from to be here. So this year we have graduates from Algeria, Cabo Verde, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Dominican Republic, I thought that would be a big one, Egypt, El Salvador, Ethiopia, France, Haiti, Honduras, Cote d'Ivoire, Jordan, Kenya, Morocco, Portugal, Puerto Rico, Somalia, Spain, Sudan, Venezuela, and Vietnam. A very special class. Guatemala. And also special for me, as Mr. Lopez pointed out, because this is my 4th year as principal. This is your 4th year at BINcA. And as I look at the group of students in front of me, I'm remembering moments, hundreds of moments, thousands of moments in the hallways, go to class, meet up, in the classrooms, pay attention, in my office, Anthony arguing with me. At the front door, Crystal, you're late. Even to graduation. A lot of memories. But I want to say thank you to the class of 2019. Our school is a different place than when you got here. And a lot of the reasons that it's different and better, I think, is because of the contributions you've made. All of those complaints that you made in my office about things that needed to change, we're trying to change them little by little. Haven't fixed the food situation yet. That's coming next year after you leave. So I'm here just to say thank you for what you've done for our school, what you've done to make your family so proud of you, what you've done for our school community that makes us so proud. So I am amazed with what you've done so far, and I cannot wait to hear and see all of the things that you're going to do in the future. Congratulations, class of 2018. So the next person I want to introduce is a real friend of BINcA. He's a longtime chair and current member of the Boston School Committee. And as a member of the Boston School Committee, he visits many schools throughout the school year, but he comes a lot to BINcA, and I know that he has a very special place in his heart. I'm convinced we're his favorite school. I don't know if he'll be able to say yes to that. But please join me in welcoming Mike O'Neill to the stage.
Thank you, Dr. King. I have to give a shout out to Mr. Lopez as the MC though, huh? I thought he was going to break out into the country and western song, How Can I Miss You If You Won't Go Away? So, nice job, Mr. Lopez. But Dr. King, Senator Chang Diaz, the other honored guests, including the valedictorian and the salutatorian, to the parents, to the teachers, to the staff, to the family friends, and most importantly, to the graduates of the class of 2019. We're so delighted to be here celebrating you. And when I say class of 2019, that's your chance to go, woohoo! So on behalf of my colleagues from the Boston School Committee, we're so glad to celebrate you. Now, you know, success is not reached alone. Hard work will get you far, but to be truly successful, you need the support of others along the way. I know I certainly did when I was sitting in your seats many years ago. And here at BINcA, you'll be fortunate to be surrounded by caring adults who are committed to helping you reach your full potential. From your headmaster, Dr. King, your teachers, your guidance counselors, your coaches, all the folks in the school, they're dedicated to providing students with the necessary supports to help you reach your goals. So just like your families, they want you to succeed, and they worked hard to get you to the first finish line in your life, which is today, but you're gonna have a lot more finish lines in front of you. So students, please join me in thanking them for what they've helped do for you. Now, Dr. King said I do visit often, and Boston International High School and Newcomers Academy hold such a special place in the Boston Public Schools. First of all, you're very proud to have a 100% immigrant student body. BINcA students, as we heard, come from all over the world, but you all share a steadfast commitment to education. And you are Boston. Looking at your faces, looking at your family's faces, we are a city of immigrants. And you represent what this city is all about, the best of what this city has to all about, because you come, you learn, you engage, and you help us grow as a city. You know, my grandfather was a immigrant from Ireland. He was leaving famine. And my wife is an immigrant from Lebanon. I didn't hear Lebanon on the list, though I heard other countries in the Middle East. But she was fleeing civil war and came here only speaking Arabic. But Boston is welcoming, Boston teaches, and you have an opportunity from that. So you also have your own personal stories of resilience, that drive, that unbreakable spirit that led you here today and will serve you well in life. And there were some special things with the class of 2019 as well. Many of you are heading on to very competitive colleges and universities. I'm absolutely thrilled to say that this year's class includes a Questbridge Scholar, 2 Posse Scholars, and a Vertex Science Leaders Scholar. And I want to say, I know that you all know this, but I want to say that this year's class includes a Questbridge Scholar, 2 Posse Scholars, and a Vertex Science Leaders Scholar. And I want to say that this year's class includes a Questbridge Scholar, 2 Posse Scholars, and a Vertex Science Leaders Scholar. And for folks who don't know, those are incredibly competitive scholarships. So to be named a Posse Scholar, to be named a Quest Break Scholar, to be named a Vertex Science Leader Scholar, that's an incredible reflection of the individual's work and also the school's work. So congratulations. And a number of students have also embodied the BINcA habits of the graduates, and several of you are about to be honored for that for each of the phases of PASO, so congratulations. And lastly, a thing I love about BINcA is many of you have presented at the speech competition, and I'm always honored to be a judge every single year, so a number of you I've heard from in the past, and that's how we learn, and I wanted to mention it because how your school has evolved and how you've evolved as a class. You know, several years ago, 5 years ago when I was attending, students were talking, yes, about the food, so some things haven't changed, Dr. King, and about the need for a soccer field. This year, students were talking about sexual harassment. They were talking about bullying. They were talking about how to improve the X block so that you can get a better educational experience even in that time frame. Thinking about the students who are coming behind you. So again, you just represent so much that is good about Boston Public Schools, and we're so proud of you. I want to give a quick shout out to the winners of the Franklin Medals. They're going to be announced very shortly. But I do that because these medals have been awarded annually by the Boston School Committee to Boston Public School graduates for high achievement since 1793, making them the oldest and most prestigious school medals in the country. They are named in honor of America's founding father, Ben Franklin, who funded them in his will in 1789, and proceeds from that initial funding still help to pay for it to this day. So yes, history is important, as your teachers have told you over the years. And lastly, to the graduates, I say, you've been given a great gift, a gift of a first-class public education. I, too, am a graduate of Boston Public Schools. I received that gift. That drove me on to college, and then it drove me to give back when I realized the gift that I had been given. And many others do it as well. The personifications, public service is seen right here in Senator Chang Diaz, who does so much for the constituents of her section of Boston. And so I ask you to do the same thing. When you move on to college and your careers, don't forget what you've been given. Come back, teach, volunteer, mentor. Give of your time and your talent and your treasure to help the next generation of Boston Public School students succeed, just as Boston is helping you now. So, congratulations, go get them, and enjoy the rest of your day.
So the next person we're going to hear from tonight is an advocate for immigrants. She is an advocate for students and education. So that seemed like a perfect person to speak at our graduation. Senator Sonia Chang Diaz began her career as a teacher in Lynn and in Boston before becoming elected as the first Latina senator in the state of Massachusetts in 2009. That's good. Since assuming that role, she's done a lot of work for communities that intersect with the people in this room around immigrants' rights and education. She was very connected to the Look Bill, which was an important bill connected to English language learners. And some of you tonight have earned the seal of biliteracy, and Senator Chang Diaz was an important part of that. So please join me in welcoming Senator Sonia Chang Diaz.
Good evening, graduates. And thank you for that warm welcome, Dr. King. This is my first graduation that I'm helping to officiate at, where there will be seal of biliteracy earners crossing the stage. So it's a special graduation for me as well as for you. It is an extreme honor to be here to help celebrate this momentous occasion with you, with your families, who I know have worked so hard to see you at this moment, and with your dedicated teachers and staff here at BINcA. You entered this auditorium just a few moments ago as students. And in a few, maybe not a few minutes, several minutes, you're going to leave here as graduates. conferred with a diploma and recognized by your community, your city, your state, and your country as having achieved a critical milestone in learning and in adulthood. And I hope that you will savor it. And I wish for you that this will be the first in a long line of lifelong achievements in learning. It is always a very long road to get to graduation. It takes years of focus on your part and on your family's part. Long nights of dedicated study, and just plain old discipline for the day in, day out work of learning and growing. And for that alone, you have earned your seats in this auditorium tonight. Yet I also know that for many of you here at BINcA, the obstacles were greater than for your peers at other schools. As immigrants, learning another language and another culture at the same time as all of your other courses, you have had to work even harder to give even more sacrifice to succeed in your classes and pass all of your tests. And I know too, and I say this with a heavy heart, I know that outside of school, it isn't always easy being an immigrant, especially in America today. These are troubling and uncertain times that we live in. Anti-immigrant sentiments are on the rise in the public arena. Our president has taken our country to a new low, systematically separating children from their parents at the border and then losing them. Major hate crimes have become what feels like a weekly occurrence, and this is to say nothing of the impending threats to our free and functioning press, the eroded state of our Constitution, and our march toward global climate change. And I think right about now, probably Dr. King and your school administrators are second-guessing their invitation to me to be your graduation speaker. Maybe you were hoping that I was going to have a celebratory tone for this speech. But here's the truth. And I'm committed to speaking the truth to you in this speech because you are entering into adulthood. And you are probably the most adult graduates that this city will see this year. I still believe this country is worth fighting for. And I don't know anyone more equipped to do that than you. In spite of all of the perils, all of the reasons for despair, I still believe that we will win. And I believe that because I see gifted, talented people before me. People who have so much to offer and so much to teach this beautiful and broken country. And I believe that we will win because you've got grit. You guys know what I mean by grit? Grit is doubling down on learning calculus even when you got a bad grade on a test. It's taking a deep breath and squaring your shoulders and walking into the boss's office to fight for a correction in your paycheck even when your English is shaky. It's standing up for your friend who gets heckled on a tee for wearing hijab even though your voice might be shaking. Grit is setting your sights on a goal, even if it's a hard goal, sometimes because it's a hard goal, and trying for it, maybe failing, learning from the experience, and trying again. We don't teach courses on grit in high school. You aren't officially graded on it. And in fact, it's a quality that education experts are just beginning to think about how to measure and how to teach. But you have already had a master class in grit. Living, learning, and succeeding as you have in America today, you have already shown you are full of it. And I know this because I have seen this story before. Immigrants and their children have shaped this country in every generation. Sometimes through business savvy, sometimes through the sweat of their brows, sometimes through running for office, and sometimes by looking into the night sky. As some of you may know, my father was an immigrant to this country from Costa Rica. I didn't hear Costa Rica on the list either. When he was a little boy, he was inspired by the very first man-made satellite that was launched into space, the Sputnik satellite. And the story as it goes is he climbed up into the mango tree to watch the Sputnik satellite orbiting in the night sky. And at that time, he hatched this dream of becoming an astronaut. And so to start on his path toward that dream, he went and wrote a letter to the then head administrator of NASA in the United States, declaring his ambition to come and join the astronaut corps. And he actually got a letter back from NASA. And the middle manager who'd taken the time to write this letter had also taken the time to get out a red pencil and underline the line in the letter that said, careers at NASA are typically reserved for US citizens. Undeterred, my dad chose to interpret this as the encouragement, hey, you better hurry up and come. So, and the odds were long that this little boy from Central America was going to achieve being an astronaut in the big United States. But nonetheless, there he went with his one-way ticket. He came to the United States on his own at the age of 18 with $50 in his pocket and very little English. He enrolled in high school here in the US to repeat his senior year. He slept in a cramped apartment with cousins. He failed his first 2 marking periods, but he kept trying. Try, fail, learn, try again. He ultimately graduated from high school here, and with such strong grades that he got a scholarship to the University of Connecticut. I know we have some other scholarship winners here tonight. And he then went on to MIT for graduate school. In 1978, he took the leap and applied to the new class of astronauts that NASA was forming that year. He was rejected. Didn't even make it past the first cut, he recounted to me. And he was crushed. 2 years later, in 1980, NASA opened up applications for another class. He applied again. And my friends, in 1980, he became the first Latino and the first naturalized citizen astronaut in the United States history. Since then, he has gone on to tie for the record for the most space flights in US history. And he has worked tirelessly for the scientific advancement in the service of humanity and the planet, and also for empowerment of the Latinx community through education. And I tell this story not because he's special. I mean, I think he's special, but the more important point here is that his immigrant story is not unique. There are countless immigrants, famous and obscure, who pioneered their success in the face of adversity. There were also the Chinese laborers and the engineers who built this country's first transcontinental railroad and who went on strike to fight for equal pay with their white counterparts. There's Jose Antonio Vargas, an undocumented Filipino journalist who pioneered a career reporting on stories that few other people were paying attention to at the time, like the AIDS epidemic in Washington, D.C. And he went on to win a Pulitzer Prize for his work with the Washington Post, all while advocating for the immigrant community. And there is the Haitian mother, whose name is unknown to the news, but who worked 2 PCA jobs for years on end without vacation, checking kids' homework in the early morning hours, navigating the school bureaucracy for her family on limited English, and whose children are now finding new treatments for cancer and serving in our armed forces. These are the stories and the struggles that make America great. They're the ones that remind us of our best values, our best ambitions, and our common humanity. And they are full of grit, just like you. The road that you will take when you leave this auditorium will not always be smooth. And I'm not going to lie to you, it will in many cases be harder because of who you are and where your families come from. But being here today as graduates, you have already proven that you know well how to overcome adversity. You will chart your own adventures and your own dreams, whether that means opening a successful business and giving back to the communities that raised you, or developing a new vaccine, or inventing the next iPod, or capturing the soul of America with your words and with your song, as I heard that some of you already did earlier this year on the Hamilton stage. Or some of you may do it by slipping the surly bonds of Earth and exploring the stars. You can lend your unique voices, your histories, and your memories to remind this country of what it means to be our best selves. And I want you to know this too. You have people rooting for you. Some you already know. Your parents, who have sacrificed so much for you. Your friends, who will stand by you. Your teachers, who believe in you and have pushed you. And there are ones that you have not met yet, and that you may never meet. Politicians who believe in you. employers who are hungry for your talents, and many Americans who remember that our strength as a nation derives so heavily from our history of immigration. Never doubt, please never doubt, that you are what makes America its best self. Your successes will be our successes. Your dreams are our dreams, and we need you now more than ever. So go forward tonight with pride in everything that you have accomplished so far, determination to get up when you fall, and with faith in everything that you have to teach your country and its people. You are the ones that we've been waiting for. My heart's congratulations to you, class of 2019, and Godspeed in your endeavors.
Thank you very much once again, Senator Chang Diaz and Mr. O'Neill, for those words of encouragement and inspiration for our graduates. At this time, I am going to present our academic director, who will then present two very special graduates. And she is Miss Isabel DePina.
Good evening. I have the honor of presenting your salutatorian and valedictorian. Our salutatorian wasn't originally a BINcA student. One day she came into my office and told me she needed a transfer. She was assigned to another school, and after going there for one day, she knew it was not the school for her. She wanted to be at BINcA and asked me to help her. After several calls, we were able to request a transfer. A couple of days later, she returned as a BINcA student and told me on that day that she would work so hard and that she would go to college. She did work so hard, and she has today earned the second highest grade point average this year. Please join me in welcoming the salutatorian, Dana da Costa.
Good evening, families and friends, students, teachers, our special guests, and class of 2019. I want to thank all of you today for being here to share this special moment, this unique moment with our graduate student to celebrate our victory. After 4 years of struggle, we made it. After 4 years of joy, we made it. After 4 years of hard work, we finally made it. As you can see, it was not easy, but it was worth it. Throughout it all, we had someone that was always there to push us, to cheer for us, to fight for us and with us, to support us, to help us, and to believe in us. None of us in here walked this journey alone. That's why we, the class of 2019, want to thank all of you that were present there throughout this journey, which seemed long that was never going to end. Boston International is a special high school. It's a special high school because of its community. We became a family, and it became a second home for me. And I have no doubt that many other students feel the same way. Here, we have the amazing opportunity to travel around the world without going anywhere. I remember one day that Mr. Tassi told me that his dream was to travel around the world, learn new cultures, but he ended up at BINcA. But then I told him, actually, you are living your dream. Because at BINcA, you're surrounded by people from 30 different countries who speak 15 different languages. and have variety of amazing different cultures. And then he looked at me, he laughed, and he said, "You're actually right." I remember being with my friends, trying to learn their language, and guess what? We always learn the bad words. Almost everyone in the school knows what the word fastento and fastenta means. At BINcA, the culture experience is what makes it. The beauty of BINcA is the culture experience. I will miss my soccer team. We practiced, we played in the heat, in the rain, in the cold, but we were still there on the field, running after that ball like crazy. But school was always in our mind. In the field, we were there thinking about all the homework that we had from Miss G, Miss Days, the arc of the week that we had to turn in the next day. But we were still there looking after each other and supporting one another. The days that we have lost, the bus was so quiet. But the days that we won, everyone will know that we won. We finally made history at BINcA for being the Girls Soccer South Conference champion of the Boston City League and made it to state twice. This wouldn't be possible if we did not work as a team. Working together, trying our best, and supporting each other was what helped us achieve what we did. Having the coach and the coach assistant believing in us and betting in us makes us try our hardest, and we don't want to disappoint them. This is why we accomplished all that we did. At BINcA, I had a variety of amazing opportunities, but it wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be able to take advantage of all of them if I did not have the support from my family. When I moved here, I was working and studying at the same time. It was a lot, but I could manage. As I had to work, I did not have a lot of time to get involved in the school extra activity. However, one day, my older brother, Danielson, he told me that if I did not want to work and focus only on school, to go for it. I did not have to worry about paying bills anymore. If I needed anything, I could just ask him. To show him how appreciative I was for what he did for me, I did my best at school, and to make him feel proud, and to see that all the hard work, what he did for me was valuable, and it did mean something. Today, I want to thank him for supporting me in my education and for believing in my capacity. I want to thank my role model, my older sister, Daisy. She has been my mirror throughout my life. Daisy was one of the person that always listens to all my complaints about school, and at the end she will tell me, "I know you're gonna get the work done." I want to thank my other brother, Andrea, who has always been there for me. He has always been there to cheer for his sister whenever he is posted on the news and whenever she brings another award home. I cannot leave this place without thanking Carolyn and Jennifer for being my partners, my inspirations, and my school best friends, for always reminding me of my goals, for showing me reasons why I shouldn't give up, and I have gotten through hard experiences. This last year has not been easy for many of us. I seriously believe that celiac is actually a thing. Many of us started started losing motivation and it was difficult getting the work done, and we were all burned out from all the hard work we had put in the previous years. But thanks to Miss Russo, Miss Cheswick, Miss Wong, Mr. B, Mr. Hogu, Mr. Tasse, all the senior teachers, they did not let us give up. They were there every day to remind us that the school wasn't over yet. Miss Wong always telling us that we were going until the very last day. She had no pity, but she was always there to remind us as well that she believed in us and she knew we could do it. BINcA teachers are special for their understanding, for caring about the students more about their grades, at least the ones that I have had. I mean, some of them. We would like to thank those of you who have shown this understanding that students have life outside of school as well. Thank you for not seeing us as a group, but as individuals, for trying to help each one of us based on our needs. Throughout my college process, I had many breakdowns. It was one of the hardest experiences that I have been through. If it wasn't for the support that I received from my senior teachers, from Mr. Fly, Miss Ellen, Mr. Turner, Miss Jackson, and Mr. King, I wouldn't have been here today to thank all of you for the support. So thanks for all the Boston International High School for the amazing team that you are. And thank you for preparing the class of 2019 very well for their next journey. Congratulations to all graduates, class of 2019. Just so you know, this is just the beginning, and I wish you all the best in the next step. Thank you.
Tonight's valedictorian reminds me that to be truly exceptional is to go beyond what is asked of you. That learning happens all the time, in the classroom, in extracurricular activities, and in the lessons taught at home. This year's valedictorian took every opportunity presented to her. She stretched herself to join school site council, the debate team, Girls Who Code, and numerous other activities, all while earning the highest grade point average of her class. I am honored to know her, and I know that she will always be exceptional. Please join me in welcoming the class of 2019's valedictorian, Carolyn de Jesus Martinez.
Getting very emotional over here. I will ask you again to please give a round of applause to our teachers, our amazing teachers. But not just our teachers, but also our school staff. They have been a great support here in BINcA. Another round of applause. Graduates, families, BINcA staff, guests, it is such an honor for me to be here tonight. I don't know how many times you guys have graduated from high school, but this is my second time. When I came to the United States, I learned that if I wanted to go to college, I should repeat high school again back in the 9th grade. I was devastated. But this time around has been so much more meaningful than back in the Dominican Republic. This time, I've been surrounded by people who have inspired me, people who have helped me find my purpose and follow my goals. Many of us came here with very little formal education. And many of us came here almost finishing high school back in our home countries. But we were thrown back to repeat grades we hadn't already completed. But you know how and why we did this? Because as Hamilton said, immigrants will get the job done. No matter how we enter BINcA, we share one thing: a desire to be successful and to show the best version of ourselves. We are, and I'm proud to say this, we are a class of survivors. Many of us work up to 40 hours per week while being students. Some of us, yes, Anthony, I see you. Some of us struggle with mental health to the point where getting out of bed and coming to school was really hard. We had issues at home that seemed far beyond our control, yet we made it. We came to school and gave our absolute best. And tonight, our hard work pays off. So congratulations for that. The truth is that we've come a long way. As they now saying, a way where we were struggling to speak English and we were using our hands rather than our mouths to communicate. We struggled a lot with Miss Vase's long homeworks, Miss G's long packets. These 4 years have been packed full of memories. Experiences that we will never forget. Like, how can we ever forget how hard and tiring was to pay attention and listen to Miss Moon's lectures during the end of the day? Or how all of us waited until last minute to write Miss Cruz's English responses. Besides experiences, there are catchy phrases that we will never forget. Like Miss G's, "Let's move on," or Mr. Johnson, use the extra credit. Those scenes will always stay with us. But even though we persevere, we wouldn't be here without the help of many adults. And I just want to take a moment to recognize a few. My mom, quien ha sido mi roca firme y me ha ayudado a nunca perder de vista mis metas. My sister Catherine, who has been by my side during every challenge since the day she was born. Mr. King, who gave me and gave us so many amazing opportunities. I thank you for that. Miss McLeod, she taught us about the value of our voice. You have been the most inspirational teacher I've ever had. Even when she left BINcA, she never left us. And I want to thank you, not for being just such an amazing teacher, but for being another woman role model in my life. Mr. Clyde, who is responsible for having so many students like myself wanting to study computer science, and the only one responsible of destroying the dreams of those students who thought they wanted to become doctors. AKA being Lopez. Thank you for all those intense days filling out applications, doing recommendations, taking us on college tours. You know you will miss us when we leave. Mr. Turner, who have worked so incredibly hard for us, never complaining. He is one of the main reasons why many of us are enrolling in colleges and programs next year. We cannot thank him enough. Last but not least, I need to thank Dana, Jennifer, and Christoph. You guys have been the source of many of my peers and my laughs throughout high school. Dana, I've known you since the ninth grade. You are my twin in terms of experiences, challenges, and of course, taste. Thank you so much for sticking through it with me these past 4 years. Jennifer, I've gained so much love and appreciation for you this past year. I'm so happy to have you in my life. Gracias por ser la otra hija de mami. Crystal, you are the only one I felt comfortable enough to call at 1 a.m. trying to find a safe place to talk. Thank you for being my friend. All of us here tonight, we're heading in different directions, following our own paths. Whether we are going next year to travel, to work, to go to church, or to go to a program, I know that we will do great things in the future.